It's gonna be bananas. It's gonna be a good time. Welcome back again today, Jam Fam. It is time for massive breakfast freezer meals, and you're gonna see probably 100 pounds of bananas also be used in this video because we know how to have a good time around here. And these are, what are these black bags of dark gooiness? Well, these are part of the 80 pounds of organic bananas that I got at the John Henry General Store. And these are the bananas I got to go with my bananas. Really, we go through a lot of bananas around here many times, especially when I'm in a high training, endurance training time. I'm eating 2 to 3 bananas a day, and I have a lot of people that look like me that like to eat a lot of bananas. Plus, I also want to do homemade banana pudding. One of the many, many things we are making in this video, yes, breakfast freezer meals, but I'm pretty sure that banana pudding will count as a breakfast item around here too. And I know the banana pudding, I'd like to have some layers of bananas. Again, that will be gone so very quickly. So these bananas are for eating now and to complement some of these banana recipes, just a 30-quart bowl of bananas. And these bananas are what's left of the 80 pounds of the organic bananas from the John Henry General Store. And when I went in there yesterday to stock up on the butter deal for the decade, let me tell you, he had a pound of butter for $1.99 each. I got 72 pounds because at Walmart right now, butter's like $3.67 a pound, and you know, it only goes up from there. So when I was in there yesterday, he still had the banana deals. They're all bananas that would need to be quickly frozen. And I do still have some bananas in my freezer because we also have our smoothie stash. This is my baking stash. This is my eat it now stash for my household. And we are gonna make so many amazing breakfast freezer meals now. I always have to think about how to get into a project. Now, many of my banana-based breakfast, all the B's, recipes over on largefamilytable.com and in my shop at shop.largefamilytable.com. The various recipes I've been reading through will say things like 9 bananas or use 2 ripe bananas. It's a banana number. We are doing so many muffins, so many banana bread. We are gonna work on seeing if those bread machines will start to have some love for me again. We're making a variety of, we'll say traditional, also gluten-free style banana pancakes. It's gonna be bananas. It's gonna be a good time. So what I'm gonna do to start is we are just gonna get the hand mixer and we are gonna mix up all these bananas. And I will need to look at the recipes and convert the bananas to cup ratio. I'm pretty sure offhand 1 banana equals half a cup. I'll confirm that here in a minute. I'm not looking at my notes. Either half a cup or a whole cup, you know. We like math around here too, especially butter math. So we'll see what kind of adventures we get into. And I'm saving the liquid from in here because that's still part of the bananas. And again, we will convert 9 bananas to how many cups that would be. And we are gonna keep cooking until we go through all these bananas. And if there's still more that for some reason I haven't gotten to, that's okay, because we have more in the freezer that we can defrost and go from there. I know in the past when I've wanted to do banana recipes, if my bananas looked more like these 30-quart bowl of bananas here, I've taken them out and microwaved them. But we are in banana heaven. This is $10 of fun. So step 1, fill a 30-quart mixing bowl with already frozen bananas. Step 2, mix. We will get back to this here shortly. I'm just gonna rinse off my hands a minute and grab a towel. And I also need to eat, and all I have is mashed bananas. Now I just reheated some pork and vegetables. So you might very quickly see me in this video eating my pork and carrots and green beans while I'm cooking and doing other tasks. Okay, mixer, continuing to learn about life with me, doing pretty good. Okay, here we go. So I'm using my Mega Muffins Pack 2, and we're going to use the peanut butter banana muffins. This should make about 4 dozen. There's a few things I'm going to switch out here. And step 1, get my measuring cups out, right? You'll need them for a variety of things. And I was greatly disappointed, sad, perplexed at my bread machine failure. Was a week ago now, after all those years of bread machine love, but that is okay. I'm hopeful. So what my plan is I'm going to just, when we get to banana bread, mega banana bread portions here, I'm going to take some of the pre-mixed banana bread and also put that in the bread machines. That's not the full bread machine love. I have loved my bread machines for over 12 years now because I used to always be able to layer my ingredients and the bread machine did the mixing work. I could just layer, shut the lid and go. Didn't work that way last week when I tried to get them out and get them fired back up again after the last few years. But even though we are dealing with 80 pounds of mixed bananas now in this 30-quart bowl approximately, it's a half a cup of mashed bananas equals one whole banana. So we will be moving forward with that. I know I'm going to need this mixer again in a minute. I'm just going to put the paddles over that bowl. That is good. And so I won't do too many deep banana bread thoughts right now while we focus on accomplishing these peanut butter banana muffins. And so many things we are doing over there. Okay, I think we almost have everything scooched around now. And we got our variety of bowls. So we're going to do dry ingredients, we're going to do wet ingredients. It is all going to cooperate except my bowls are a little wet at the bottom. All righty. Almost ready. So what I'm planning, we did a total of about 14 dozen of the strawberry muffins, maybe 2 weeks ago. Got a decent amount in the freezer. So we are continuing on with the Mega Muffin Adventures, and we are doing bread. Already mentioned the pudding, and we are going to do a variety of banana pancakes too. So with these peanut butter and banana muffins, we have 8 cups all-purpose flour, 2 cups packed brown sugar, 1/4 of a cup of baking powder, a teaspoon of salt, 2 cups creamy peanut butter, 8 eggs, 3 cups of milk, 1/2 cup of oil, I'm using olive oil, and 8 ripe bananas. We're going to call that 4 cups. I'm going to preheat my oven to 375. In my bowl, we are going to whisk together our dry ingredients, our flour, our brown sugar, our baking powder, and our salt. Then in another bowl, we are going to whisk together our wet ingredients. I'm just using my hand mixer here. The peanut butter, the eggs, the milk, the oil, and the bananas. Then we're going to combine these together and get them in our muffin cups and get them in the oven. Alrighty, so we're doing good. Now for extra fun, we do have a snowstorm that's a-coming. And I've been pacing myself for the past week wanting to get to this mega mama mammoth banana project that we're finally get to. And we only have 1.5 boxes of eggs left. This is massive breakfast freezer meals. Everything, there's going to be a lot of eggs going down. Like just for these peanut butter and banana muffins, it's 8 eggs. So many recipes, so many eggs. So I'm hopeful, fingers crossed, this evening or tomorrow morning, like the olden days, I'm going to need to run into Walmart and pick up a few more egg boxes just so I can get through all of these massive breakfast freezer meal projects. Let me see what else. Okay, 8 ripe bananas mashed, which is the 4 cups. Using that one for my milk. Anyway, all of that is fine. Walmart grocery delivery, understandably, they are already booked for the next several days, which makes total sense. And here I am doing snowstorm breakfast freezer meals. But I am hopeful to get at least a good bit of the muffins done today. By the time this video is done, we will work through my whole massive list. And again, I have not shared that full list with you yet, but it's a-coming. So, just saying, gonna have a little extra egg adventure. And all the things that people stock up on with impending snowstorms, I don't think egg boxes is one of them. It was still showing eggs in the store on the app, so that's good. So I think we'll be able to do that. I had a bucket of flour, have a bucket of sugar, have many of those staples, but I don't want to run out of eggs. And I don't have chickens set up right now, although I'm feeling it in our future. I think gently getting back into a little bit of homesteading things futuristically. Chickens is the great entry point. You know that I have raised tens of dozens of flocks. I've had up to 75 or 100 chickens at a time. I've raised laying hens, all the adventures with roosters. We've had some really nice roosters too, though. Our best rooster was a naked neck rooster. He was so great. We've raised meat birds as far as we've raised chickens for meat, also turkeys. We've had guinea hens and geese. I love my poultry when I get into it. I love ducks and duck eggs. So I'm looking, thinking about a snowstorm, looking towards a brighter day. Not sure though where my feet will be long term, but I am thinking, well, we could probably have a dozen chickens, right? And go from there. Not today though, not January, February 2026, but at least happy thoughts of the future of getting chickens, chicken eggs. Then that's the gateway animal, right? Set that back over my bowl. Okay. That bowl is going to kind of be my catch-all. Okay. Good, hopeful. And I am still doing this in big bowls in my hand mixer. We do have the big Hobart, and maybe we will get that going. I just know for these multiple dozens of muffins, I still need bigger bowls than my 10 or 12 quart Hobart over there. Like this alone, I think this, well, maybe this batch would mix well in that, but that's okay. Here we are. You know we like to get the Hobart going. We've already had her going some this year. I did have a friend over the holidays give me some of her sourdough starter, which is in the refrigerator. We did some sourdough in early 2025. Maybe we will get some sourdough inspiration here in 2026. I'm hopeful about a great many things, right? Now, we do have some chocolate chips. I bought chocolate chips again over a week ago. I've been pacing myself. I've been sharing with you, getting ready for this project. My chocolate chips. They've been a favorite. So I had many recipes I was going to put chocolate chips in. So I would like to put a handful of chocolate chips into these muffins. I'm just going to not. I do want to do some chocolate chip banana muffins. That's going to be our next batch. I don't have any of my spray oil, so we're just going to rub a little olive oil in our muffin liners. Could probably get away without even doing that. I just like to. Alrighty, getting another towel. I think we will be going through so many towels in these breakfast freezer meals. I just washed off again these red silicone muffin liners. How many years have we had these? A long time. They have had so many adventures. I sprayed them off again. Washed them down. Now we're going to dry them really quick, but they don't look pretty. But I think we've had these. Oh, get over there. Plug. Stay. I think we got these at this house. You know, we do the timelines by the houses. I'm pretty sure we got these in the baby kitchen. And they don't have to be perfectly dry either. And you know what? I think I'm just going to skip doing the oil on them. I would use the spray if I had it, but I don't think we have to with these anyway. Now the thing I do need is I put those liners, whoops, on my baking sheets. And the big question, do I have my big oven fixed? No. Did they email me wanting to fix it for me quickly and kindly? When was that? Before Thanksgiving, I think? Yeah. Have I gotten to it? No. Some of you have given me some great suggestions. Like people have asked me, why don't I just have like my teenagers take, all the holdup is, I tried for several, I feel like 8 weeks to get a hold of them. Could not, long process. One day, got a hold of someone, was hopeful. I tagged them on Instagram. They directly called me the next day wanting to make it even quicker for me, get someone out here. They need me. This is the holdup. I'm the problem, it's me. They needed me to email them some pictures, give them the serial number, those kind of things. And that's that. Then we had December. Okay, now we're in January. And here we are. So I can give you a list of all the things I have gotten done. I have not replied to that email or gotten them the pictures. So it's me. I'm totally earned my I'm the problem t-shirt. But maybe this will be the video. I feel like if I put it in my filming workflow, we have a good chance of getting it done. So I'm hopeful maybe this video, you and me will take the picture, reply to the email. I think that's the only way I'm going to do it. So on this breakfast freezer meals and snowstorms coming weekend, let's do that, okay? Put that on our list. Friends in New Zealand, hold on to that for me. and we'll do it. Now, the idea of my kids taking the pictures and doing that email for me, it's not in our universe. They don't do anything with my email or my phone. I do have people who work for me from their homes, helping me with different behind the scenes business things. But anyway, it's just one of those things that's been on my list. I do generally get things done, but those things can stay on my master list and just keep spinning for sometimes a few extra days, sometimes a few extra weeks or months, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So what I'm thinking today is we're going to get muffins going in the oven, but I was also reading, we have these roaster ovens, and supposedly you can bake in roaster ovens. I never have. I've read about these things. And so I thought, let's try that also. That's a good backup when the big oven's not working. But I know in my baby kitchen, we did big cooking projects, but my oven in there was the size of an oven that would be like in an RV or a camper. We made it work. So we can make things work. So we're gonna get these going. If I bake them kind of shady, like how I'll show you how I do, then we will get some going in the roaster ovens. I was reading that you have to, of course, I found my baking racks for them. We need to turn the temperature down a little bit and check in on it a little more often, which is a big ask, but I'm not going outside, so that's helpful. So this is how I bake 2 dozen at a time. We will do 4 dozen at a time in my baby oven. These will have some problems. They'll bake over the rims a little bit, but it's okay. It's imperfect mom muffins. It works. And what we might be able to do is, well, we'll get these going, and then we may have to mix up the next batch. We'll see. Let's just do this and see what adventures await. So we're gonna bake 1 dozen in the roaster oven now. This baking sheet is just here, but these silicone liners need supported, but look at that, okay? So we're just gonna fill it, put it in the roaster oven. So the recipe calls for 375 for about 20 to 25 minutes. I set my timer for 20 minutes. For this roaster oven, I put it on 350. And I will set my watch timer for about 15 minutes, and we'll just check in on it. And right now, weather report, we've got a lot of sunshine outside at the moment. But the storm is not supposed to be here again until tomorrow afternoon. And that's why I think I will be able to get into Walmart the old-fashioned way and get myself my backup eggs for all this baking that we're going to be doing for breakfast. Also, people ask me about what do I do if I lose power with the freezers. So in this house, which I've been in almost 6 years, I think we've only had not even a full day power outage. Now we do have a generator. I don't know how to use it. So I won't be using the generator, but one of the things I've always held on to as far as power outages with freezers is that, and even you can go to foodsafety.gov, if you leave your freezers closed, they will be fine for a certain amount of time. It's not like 4 hours. I'm gonna have to Google and let you know here officially in this video, but I believe it's at least 48 hours. So that's what I'm going on and believing the best for, and just baking my way through it. Gonna play a bunch of Uno card games and have some muffins and banana pancakes too. Okay, we're gonna read foodsafety.gov. Food power outages. I'm quickly looking for their chart. I will link it down in the description below. It says a full freezer will hold a safe temperature for approximately 48 hours, 24 hours if half full. Food may be safely refrozen if it still contains ice crystals or is at 40 degrees Fahrenheit or below. However, the quality may suffer. Never taste food to determine its safety. Use the chart as a general guideline, and it shows you what to refreeze, what to discard for all kinds of food options. So I have certainly lost a freezer full of food more than once with a freezer being left open. I've had freezer adventures, but we've done pretty okay with the volume of food and the amount of freezers and all of those dynamics. My backup used to be, I have a lot of freezers, but we have a generator, and even if I don't know how to do the generator thing, other folks do. Now I've built off the kind of prepping I've done in the past, the systems I still have in place. We have heat, we have water, we have non-perishable food items. You know, we have bananas here looking at us as well. We have an EcoFlow power box. I'm gonna fill my car with gas tonight, even just for things like charging my phone. And I know on my EcoFlow power box, I can run a slow cooker and some things like that. And I can even charge that in my vehicle. So we have a decent amount of systems in place, and that's as far as my brain can go this go round. And a peek at how this is going. We've got lots of smoke in there, okay, but they're baking, I guess. And I have, where did I put them? I have these little, I need to rinse them out real quick. I have another little, it's like silicone little muffin loaf. Again, because it's our lighter color and it's been several years, they're just not looking as beautified. But I think we can do, I don't know, we don't have, well, let's just have a go. Let's just have a go. So the next Mega Muffin recipes that we're going to do are from Mega Muffins Volume 1. We are going to do several dozen pumpkin banana muffins, and we are going to do chocolate chip banana muffins. Extra bonus points, both recipes use chocolate chips. There's other recipes in this guide such as pear pecan muffins. We've got mixed berry muffins, applesauce muffins, always a favorite. I get asked for those a lot. But again, this video, we're focusing on the bananas. The banana boat, haha. And I mean, you're not supposed to continually lift the lid, but I am checking in. Look, those are baking up pretty nice. Okay, those are looking pretty perfect. Gonna give them a few more minutes. These are cooling over here. Need to get them on baking racks. Those ones are baking up. Random time, just gonna set my timer for, let's let's see here, clear. Set my timer for 7 more minutes. That's what my soul says. It's soul baking. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take these out. Well, happy impending snowstorm, ice storm. Let's get back to those mega batch of pumpkin banana muffins. Okay, so we need 1 1/3 cup of melted butter. I just always like to verify half a cup, so that's a whole cup. And then we have our $1.99 a box butter from the John Henry General Store. And got to get back in my filming groove for this evening. Been working on getting beef stew going. 20 quarts of beef stew. I filmed that today. We've been puttering along with all kinds of kitchen projects, and now I'm able to get back to all of these massive breakfast freezer meals. And we ended up with 5.5 dozen muffins yesterday. This microwave, it's just going to be here like to be a timer and a clock for now. It, of course, needs to be replaced. So now we get to run all the way over here. That is just going to be part of our fun. And I wanted to keep going with muffins last night, but life and stuff and things, we had something else come up. That's okay. Our 30-quart bowl of mashed bananas went in the refrigerator, and we are getting back to it tonight. I'm saying we have a snow is coming baking party and get tons of breakfast freezer meals done in the process. That sounds like a good time. Okay. Canned pumpkin puree, we got that. Don't know if I'm going to actually get honey out. I might, I could. I have sugar too. Let's see here. Get some cups back out. So for the pumpkin banana muffins, we are going to use 12 ripe bananas mashed, 8 eggs, 1 1/3 cups of melted butter, 5 1/3 cups of canned pumpkin puree, 2 cups honey, 2 cups sugar, 10 cups all-purpose flour, 4 teaspoons of baking powder, 4 teaspoons of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of salt, 8 teaspoons of pumpkin spice, 4 teaspoons ground cinnamon, and 4 cups of chocolate chips. Alrighty, so 12 ripe bananas mashed equals our 6 mashed cups in our Mega Mama math, so that is good. That's one timer going off. You can do it, timer. I'm going to use a little bit smaller cup here, and I like to kind of have a messy catch-all bowl when I can. So and then we're also going to use some pureed pumpkin. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I might just keep that little cup on the side there for our upcoming banana projects. All right, and 8 eggs. Putting things all around. We got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I did have, these are some of the eggs I had left, but I did have one of my young adults last night. They were going into Walmart anyway, and I had them get more eggs for all this baking that we're doing. All right, melted butter. And, you know, I did not put the sugar in our dry ingredients, so we will still need to do that. And I think instead of 2 cups of sugar, 2 cups honey, I'm just going to go 4 cups sugar. I also went over and got my sugar to add to my dry ingredients. So we're good there. Just looking over here. And I will link the recipe down in the description below too. I think I got all my wet ingredients in there. Bananas, eggs, melted butter. Oh, well, we've got to open the canned pumpkin. That would help, huh? I'm technically going over 1.5 ounces-ish with my pumpkin. I'm using a 29-ounce can and a 15-ounce can. Just did the can math on it, and I thought that it'll be okay. It's good. It's pretty good. I am hoping, besides probably getting new can openers in 2026, we're going to get through these next 2 muffin recipes, and then we are going to get our banana bread going. And like I said, I do have 20 quarts of beef stew going in 1 roaster, but I have this roaster out, and we'll probably do some more muffins and bread in there too, just because we can. Because we can and we know how, right? We got our Cricket doing some Snowstorm baking with us. Again, Snowstorm hasn't started in Virginia yet. It was supposed to start today about 4, and they're moving up the time. So now, last I had looked, time before last was 10 p.m. Now they're saying 3 a.m. Does look like, you know, because you get the weather around here, does look like that tomorrow will be pretty constant all day. And that we do have times it looks like we'll get 1 to 2 inches an hour. Okay, this is going to be asking a lot of this bowl to do the hand mixer in. I have tried to find the Cricket to help him go live his best life outside, although he's probably living better inside right now. So I haven't found him. It has been nice weather though, a lot of nice weather up until a few days ago. I feel like he's lived in here with us for a week. Okay, so I do have this bowl over here. I'm gonna try to mix in that bowl, although again, we're asking a lot, but just some low speed. I know eventually as we get warmed up again this evening, we will be in every bowl everywhere. Okay. There are some very happy noises, playful noises in my living room. Whoop, okay. Low and slow, low and slow. There we go. We're just gonna be friends here. Wet ingredients. I don't know, this isn't gonna be able to fit into that dry ingredients bowl though. Who are we kidding? Who are we kidding? So one thing I was thinking about while I was mixing this though, and it's mixing up looking wetter now, since I replaced the 2 cups of honey, which is liquid, with 2 more cups of sugar. So instead of 2 cups honey, 2 cups sugar, I did 4 cups of organic cane sugar from Azure. That's still 2 cups less liquid that was in this originally. And of course I've made these a bunch of times, but I just thought to be on the safe side, I'm gonna add a little more liquid to it. I'm gonna do, this is Jamerrill eyeballing school. I'm just gonna do another cup of mashed bananas, which will be the equivalent of 2 more mashed bananas per our Jamerrill banana math, but I just think that would be a good idea. Little extra banana while we have it won't hurt anything. But again, I think it's mixing up pretty nice. And we do have a little bit extra pumpkin in here too. Won't go too crazy high on that. And I am going to fold some chocolate chips in here, since I've still protected a few more chocolate chips. But I had about 4 bags of chocolate chips a week ago when I started planning all these projects, and now I think I'm down to 1.5 bags. As happens, have chocolate chips. Kids will find. It's for them anyway. Okay. These are my chocolate chips left. Okay. What we've got, I'm just going to dump all my chocolate chips into here. 1 bag got ripped. Don't think this bag. Nope, that has a rip in it too. Okay. See, I just think like little fingers. Found the stash. Because I don't want chocolate chips to fly all over. Okay, chocolate chips, there you go. So yeah, so I had 4 of these 20-ounce bags. I have almost 2 left. So I will put in, probably just do 2 cups. The original recipe calls for 4. But again, I'm trying to spread the chocolate chip love around for a couple different things here. Okay. We will use these again here shortly. The next recipe that we're going to do is the double chocolate chip banana muffins, or chocolate chip, double chocolate chip muffins, and they have cocoa powder in them. And no pumpkin, just bananas, of course our other ingredients, and then chocolate chips as well. So all the variations. Okay, but this will have some chocolate chip love in it. Alrighty, so I'm going to get this roaster going. Lots happening in here right now. So move those things away. Scratch my nose. We'll get another dozen muffins going in there. That worked well yesterday. Okay, so that's gonna do its thing. I also pulled out our mini muffin pans. I thought we could rub these down with some olive oil and do some more muffins in there. But we'll just get this dozen going. Let's see, yesterday I set that on the rack so I could easily slip it down in there. And you just reminded me, I heard you. Anyway, we will get some little mini muffins and mini loaves out of this also. So yes, found my napkins under my mini muffin pans. So there's that. I'm oiling down the metal pans, slopping it. Means this is going to be a good cooking evening, and I will use all this extra here with the mini muffin pan in a minute. Probably need something bigger. We are getting 5 dozen muffins. Then we have half a dozen of these mini loaves. And then we are going to get a whole 9 by 9, which will be like a bread, like a pumpkin, banana, chocolate chip bread. And then we'll use up what we can with the minis. The only thing is the 9 by 9 will take longer to bake, but we'll work with it. We'll rotate it around. Okay. So, and it's almost time to switch these racks over here. Just doing a little spot cleaning. Us and our Cricut. I'm just gonna rub some oil in all of these really quickly, although I do have a little batter underneath apparently. Okay, next, that is to switch our pans. Where my little, we've got projects all around in here. Okay, so I will just set this for 10 more minutes. Nice. Now, mini muffins. just need a spoon for this. And I know we're getting ready to do a very similar recipe, just things are sticky, so I'm gonna quickly rinse them. The jasmine rice I was doing earlier is done. I have 2 butternut squash that were in the slow cooker. Those are done. So we're just gonna do quick wipe down since we are marching through our projects this evening. Lots of kitchen rotations going to be happening. Okay. Oh. And I said we were going to drop a few more chocolate chips in those last couple mini muffins, so we'll do that. I wanted to push through this evening, even though we don't always cook like this. Chocolate chips, that's what I was getting. Dry my hands. I want to just stay up late and get this project I have all planned out for these massive breakfast freezer meals done, just in case we do lose power for a few days here. I don't want to be in the middle of a project. You know, many times I take these projects and I'll break them into couple-hour chunks and do them over several days. But I don't want to do that with this. I want to accomplish this. If we're out of power for a few days, we are. And then when the power comes back on, we'll have other adventures. Okay, and those are doing well. These will probably be done. Yeah, those look great. They bake up so beautiful. And since this 9x9 will take a little longer, I'm going to get this with the 6 mini loaves and the 9x9 going. We will probably end up pulling those mini loaves off before that's done, obviously. And I won't be able to fit both of these mini muffins in, but I can fit one in. Yeah, that's just how that'll go. And that's good. Still moving forward. Still getting things done. And just showing you my overall vision for this. So we did our 5½ dozen peanut butter banana muffins last night. We are in the middle of baking through the pumpkin banana muffins, our official count. I will still do that. Now we're going to do double chocolate chip muffins. Then we're going to do peanut butter banana brownies. Yes, of course, because, yes please, we have everything to make it from scratch and all the ingredients and all the bananas, so let's go. Then we are going to start our big batch banana bread. We're going to do some with walnuts, some with chocolate chips, some with walnuts and chocolate chips, some without. So all the variations, might even switch out some all-purpose flour for gluten-free flour, do some gluten-free variations there too. Then we are going to start a massive pancake station. We are going to do banana and egg pancakes, banana, egg, and oat pancakes, and we're going to use our gluten-free oats for that. Also, of course, if we have any chocolate chips left by then, chocolate chip banana pancakes. And I want to do several pans of baked oatmeal for the freezer, of course with gluten-free oats as well. And I want to do some variations of banana breakfast cookies and banana pudding. So it's a very ambitious, massive breakfast freezer meals list, but this is how we roll. This is a project I was working on for another video you guys will see where we did 20 quarts of beef stew and we prepped the rice, and we did some roasted potatoes and carrots, and I'm thinking I'm still going to do some biscuits to go along with that. We'll get there, and that's my note to fill my pots, roasters, and tub with water at some point this evening for if we lose power and all those other winter storm adventures. So here's the pumpkin banana muffins that we just did from the Mega Muffins guide. Those are in Mega Muffins Guide 1. Now we are going to do our chocolate chip banana muffins, which, as you see, those have cocoa powder in them too. So we just had this timer go off. I put my tea in my microwave and nope, don't want to turn that on. Anyway, bathroom break. Now I'm back. Got my tea heated up. Pulled out the first thing of mini muffins. Second thing is in now. We need to get out everything on the top rack. And I've already had some samplers come in here to get some hot and ready muffins. So we love that. These loaves look done. This probably needs a few more minutes. Anyway, I'm gonna just pull these loaves out. This is our first tray of mini muffins. They haven't seen those yet. And then our second tray is in there. I set the microwave timer, because again, that's what that microwave is good for now, for 5 more minutes, because I have the heat on this roaster, I think a little lower. Anyway, that doesn't, it's been in there for a while. I guess I could turn the heat up, but it looks like eyeballing it. It needs about 5 more minutes. So this timer just went off. It's just, they're probably pretty good. I don't know, I'm just touching them. I don't know what this means. I have a fork here. I could make sure the fork comes out clean. They're probably very done. Oh, no. Let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna do a few more minutes. And hopefully these mini muffins are not in here too long. Okay, so this bread, we will just bring it out for now. It looks, it looks done. We will fork it here in a moment. You can see, we will just move our little mini loaves onto there. Then, turn this off for a bit. Okay, and there's our next batch of minis. Thank goodness I can close things with my feet. So here's how our pumpkin banana chocolate chip bread and muffins are turning out from this batch. And pretty good, pretty okay. So for the chocolate chip banana muffins, it is 6 2/3 cup flour, 4 teaspoons of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 2/3 cup sugar, 1/4 of a cup of brown sugar, 1/2 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder, 4 eggs, 2 cups of oil. I'm using olive oil because that's what I have out, 2 cups of milk, 4 teaspoons of vanilla, 8 overripe bananas mashed and peeled, so we will be using 4 cups of our mashed bananas, and then 1 cup of chocolate chips, so we can do that. We're going to mix our dry ingredients separate and then our wet ingredients and combine those. And we will be cooking these muffins at 375 for about 18 to 20 minutes. Well, let me tell you, Jam Fam, I talk a big talk for a lady that's normally laying down flat by 8:30. It's 8:35. We're going to bed. We're going to bed here within an hour. It's just going to have to happen. I sure hope I don't get stuck in the middle of a project for days and days and the power goes out and all these awful things. But I also want to go to sleep. So that's what we're going to do. I'll have a new brain tomorrow and we'll make the best of it. But I do need to still fill pots with water and stuff. And I need to successfully carry these little, maybe I'll put these in the roaster. We can do that. Okay, here we go. Yeah, and we'll work on cleanup. And we'll continue tomorrow with fresh brains, fresh power, fresh hope. Okay, that's nice. And I switched those out in the oven. That's good. These are fine. Yes. Mega Mama's running out of steam. So with this big batch toddler approved banana bread, I'm using 7.5 cups of all-purpose flour, a tablespoon of baking powder, a tablespoon of baking soda, tablespoon of cinnamon, 1.5 teaspoons of salt. The original recipe also has pumpkin spice because it had pumpkin in it. I just didn't add that for this time. For the wet ingredients, I do about 8.5 cups of mashed bananas. That's the 9 bananas plus the replacement for the pumpkin. Also 3/4 of a cup of oil, and I use melted tallow for that. We do 3 cups of sugar, 6 eggs, and a tablespoon of vanilla extract. And then at the end, you can fold in chocolate chips or chopped walnuts or both if you would like. And you can bake this at 350 to 375 until the center is set, and with a toothpick it comes out mostly clean. The larger pans take longer, and of course the mini muffins bake faster. Those baked in under 15 minutes. So on this day of the massive breakfast freezer meal projects, it's kind of like the song that never ends. It's the cooking projects that we just continue to pick away on. The big snowstorm had started the night before. It was still snowing steady outside. And honestly, at this point, I was really glad we still had power. I knew that losing power was a reality in the part of the country that I live in because of the amount of ice that we were also supposed to get. And I know, as I've mentioned before, even though at my house we have underground power lines, those still come from the main line from, the power lines and the poles that are up in the air. And I know in the past when those have gotten ice heavy, we have lost power. Now, we've never had a week long or more power outage at this particular address, but I have had several large family household times with losing power for a week or more. And that is why I like to get some things baked up ahead if I can. I just kept thinking, okay, if we lose power for several days and we have 10 loaves of banana bread and all these other baked goods, that's only more that we have prepped that's going to make life easier on us while we're dealing with other things, juggling the no power. The night before, I had filled our 60-quart stock pot with water, the 30-quart stock pot, my 16-quart goose pot, multiple slow cooker crocks, and my bathtub. And that would at least be good water to use in the house to wash hands or wash dishes, at least forks and spoons. You know, we have disposable plates. We would not be doing any big pot cooking if we had a power outage, but we would have water like high priority. Let's talk about this while we're mixing up from scratch banana bread recipes. But a full bathtub in a power outage and a bucket mean that I can pour a bucket of water down the toilet and flush the toilet during a power outage with a house full of 10. It's a high priority. So these are the kind of things that I've been thinking through during this cooking time, and I'm thinking through as me and my preschooler are having so much fun mixing up this from scratch banana bread. I was giving him the joy of dumping in as many cups and ingredients as I would prep him ahead and hand him the cup and let him dip it in. He also just loved mixing the dry ingredients and, of course, with the wet ingredients. And when we get to the hand mixer time, it's just what everything, all the hopes and dreams are made of. Now, this is my pumpkin banana bread recipe from over on largefamilytable.com. It does have 4 cups of pumpkin puree in addition to the mashed bananas. However, you know, we are heavy on the bananas right now and using up these bananas for this breakfast freezer cooking and getting good banana-based things in the freezer besides just bananas for regular smoothies, right? We love having all the breakfast ready to go, super convenient. So what I had decided to do is I'm just taking that pumpkin banana bread recipe and I'm replacing the 4 cups of pumpkin puree for 4 more cups of mashed bananas because, again, we got the bananas, so why not? I was low on the chocolate chips, but still at the end, I gave him a cup or so to go ahead and stir in. And we had enough batter left for him to also make a couple dozen of the mini muffins, which he was so proud of. When we were done, we filled them in a pie pan, and he took them around the house and served out his mini muffins that he had made. He is super proud of those. And even today from the future, we took out another bag with a couple dozen muffins of another variation we had made. And he said, "Oh, those are my muffins." So I didn't tell him they weren't his actual batch that he made on this day because they ate all those. Those were already gone the same day he baked them. But just when he sees a mini muffin, he associates that with those are his muffins. And that's just something fun. It's the same recipe. It's the same big batch banana bread that we made 9 by 13 pans full of, and the loaf pans of, and the mini pans of, and different variations in traditional size muffins. But when kids see those little mini muffins, just many at my house, they're even cooler because they're mini, right? You know, you can buy the mini muffins at the store in those little bags, and you only get like 5 little mini muffins in a bag, and they're always a hot commodity. So making them homemade from scratch is a way to have, hey, a little healthier variation. I love convenience just as much as any other mama, and anytime I have needed to buy those mini muffins at the store and everybody gets like 1 bag and they love it, I'm glad. I'm glad we did it. Yay, already gone. But when I can have dozens and dozens in my freezer ready to go, that's exciting. So this massive breakfast freezer cooking time is a mix of muffins, banana breads, pancakes, breakfast cookies, even big batch homemade from scratch pudding. Oh yes, you're going to see that coming up. And all of these recipes are built around the same core ingredients, and I will have all of these recipes linked down in the description below. And that's something that I really love about cooking for the freezer. Once you're already making a mess and pulling everything out, it makes sense to keep going and get as much done as you reasonably can. When you're doing big batch freezer cooking, you know it's never perfectly linear. You're rotating pans, you're waiting on the oven, you're switching gears. I'm stopping to help a kid or multiple kids. Sometimes I'm stirring and thinking or listening to my audiobook, and that's very much what today looked like. So this is all part of the fun. So I know that the little hands and pans. Good morning, snowstorm, lots of sleet happening right now. I was telling my toddler, oh, you can do a hands and pans video with mommy and make banana bread. He was excited about that, and he thought hands and pans was such a cute term. So like I had shared with you guys, that is my banana bread recipe from over on the blog. It's actually for pumpkin banana bread because we got the banana situation here. instead of pumpkin, I just did 4 more cups of banana. And so that recipe, we've got 3 loaf pans and that 9x9 and 2 dozen mini muffins, which those are going to be gone this morning, I'm sure. They will be hot and ready, but I've got some room cleared in the bottom of my fridge here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up a double batch of my already, of course, big cooking recipe, so that in between movie breaks and coffee breaks and hot chocolate breaks, I can just continue to keep these banana bread pans rolling. And we may end up doing more muffins. You know, we've got a decent stash of muffins, and nothing goes as quick as homemade biscuits around here, but the muffins are the next quick thing to go. Since I have the giant wet ingredient bowl right here in front of me, I think we'll do our wet ingredients there, and then I got my dry ingredient bowl back here. I do have these giant like bread loaf pans as well. I know these need to be about half full and they need to bake longer. I don't know, we might try 2 banana bread loaves in there, and we have tallow as well. So I'm just going to get out some tallow and multiple spoons here. Get some melted down to use as our oil in some of this banana bread. And this will be good because it'll be about 17 cups of mashed bananas. And I still have hopes and dreams as always. Can't talk and count cups at the same time, but I'm hopeful to be getting into the pancakes maybe by this evening. I'm just gonna, you know, we still got power. I'm still pacing myself through this day, continuing the banana bread workflow throughout the morning. And maybe this afternoon, then we'll get into some focused banana pancake time. And we are going to use 1.5 cups of tallow, eyeballing it pretty close as we do. And I will melt this in the microwave here in a moment. And you can use olive oil or coconut oil, lard, tallow, any fat that you would like. Melted butter. Okay, we will melt that down and kind of see where it ends up. And so once my preschooler and I were done with his baking all kinds of banana bread with mommy in the kitchen, I decided to go ahead and double my already big batch recipe to get many more 9x13 pans, and I also get a couple dozen of the minis with some extra batter at the end. It just seemed like the thing to do. The ingredients were out. We had mashed bananas we were still working through. The loaves that my preschooler and I made were already baking through. And I just felt like, yes, pajama mama ready. Let's just keep going and do this mega mama, bigger batch style, right? For the rest of this day, we watched through a couple fun movies. We ended up watching Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 1. And I cannot remember the other movie that we watched, but it's been a while since I've seen Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Oh, you know what? I think we just went through it. We watched the sequel. That's the movie review. I took a nap on the couch for a while. Super fun. Also got a shower because it was like, hey, we still have power. Time to party. I'm gonna wash my hair and have my hair clean for a couple days. So there's that. So we pulled the mini muffins. I'm gonna make them a snow day movie mini muffin platter. The bread in the oven still needs about 10 to 15 minutes. I just set my timer for 10 more minutes. We are gonna go ahead and also get some chocolate chip banana bread going in the bread machines. Now, again, where this mentally frustrates my brain, and you can see it in one of my big cooking videos recently, where I got the bread machines out for the first time in several years, and I just did it the way that I used to do it. Layer my ingredients, turned them on, walked away. It didn't work. Is it my paddles? Is it my motors? Is it me? I made the bread the same way I made it 10 years ago on video. So anyway, I don't like to use my bread machines if I have to pre-mix all the ingredients first. The workflow that I had for so many years was I just dumped my ingredients and I went away and I took care of a whole lot of children and I came back later and it was bread. So anyway, because we have a boat, a third or fourth boat here of massive banana bread batter, I'm gonna go ahead and put some oil in these, put our batter in them, set them to bake, and try not to feel too frustrated with my bread machines. But I have big feelings over these bread machines now. But first, let's see if they can just bake already mixed batter. It's like, thank you for coming to my TED Talk on my bread machine frustration. Some of you asked if my paddles were in the last time. Yeah, paddles were in. Paddles were in. Some said I'm supposed to put my dry ingredients on the bottom and then the wet. Or I'm supposed to make like a little well and then put the wet ingredients in. I did it just, again, the exact same way. I have done it so many times for so many years, except I have not used them for about 3 or 4 years now. But I used them straight 2014 until about 2022 when I moved into this kitchen. And they have not been used since 2022. One was from the thrift store, and one I bought brand new in 2014. I have some bread machine cookbooks and like bread machine recipes, looking to see which little scoop I want to use. So I don't know. But I do know I will not be able to get them into my workflow if I have to pre-mix ingredients first and then dump it in. It was just so nice to have my little ingredients on the counter and roll through, dump and go. It's like a slow cooker meal, you know? You can't always do all the cooking actions, so lots of things you can just dump in the slow cooker and go. But through some research, thank you if you've heard me say this before and you're listening again now, I've heard that maybe my bread machines are gone. Maybe their motors just are not what they were, and they're just not having it anymore. So at least with this, the batter is nice and mixed, and if these bread machines give me any trouble, we can still salvage this, dump it into a baking pan, get it in the oven. Still have banana bread. Okay, I'm gonna do these about half full. But I feel snarky about this. Like the irritated feelings are deep with this. So do something here, bread machines. Okay, so here's all the preschoolers' mini muffins that he baked, and he's gonna go serve these out. They look so yummy. So I'm keeping my timer set. We decided to work through the Planet of the Apes movies. So let me give you Snowstorm movie update. And I had my timer set for 20 minutes to exchange racks here with my pans, because things just bake hot in this oven. I have the heat down to 350, but that's looking nice, and I'll set it for another 20 minutes and come back and check. Roaster's doing good. Things bake nice and slow in the roaster. That's the sleet coming down now. Checking in all the little containers. And the movie's 3/4 of the way done. Just checked on the bread, but this is what that delicious 20 quarts of homemade beef stew looks like that I made yesterday in the 20-quart roaster oven. So I'm going to enjoy this snowy afternoon. All right, so the snowstorm continues, but I got my power may or may not go off shower, you know, just in case to start the new week. And we watched a couple movies today in between juggling all those large loaves of banana bread. So after a shower and some rest time, I'm like, let's keep going this evening, right? I mean, of course, you know, I said that last night, and by 8:30, I was done. I was packing up. Even though I still didn't end up getting to bed till after 11. It just took a while. Clean up, getting footage uploading, life and stuff and things, getting ready for all of it. All of it's a process. So I'm glad I didn't cook until midnight and then still had a lot of things to do. I just started the process and we got it done. So I do think tonight, though, we will be cooking for a few more hours. And that pump is primed by my nice afternoon nap. So we are doing, it just makes sense. It's so appropriate. Sleet coming down outside, lots of recipes of bananas and things looking at us. It makes sense to make like 4 gallons of homemade banana pudding. This was requested by my elementary school guys over a week ago, and I told them when I did this banana extravaganza that I would do them a big batch of homemade banana pudding, and Mama delivers, right? So we are gonna go for it, and I need 16 egg yolks. Now, another thing we're going to get in the freezer during this big cooking time this evening, and I hear our cricket. Hadn't heard our cricket all day, right on time, right? Cricket knows it's time to cook with our internet friends. Another big batch recipe we are going to get in the freezer, prepped and made and ready and in the freezer, is baked banana oatmeal. And I'm gonna do some variations with gluten-free oats as well. So my plan is that these egg whites will just be divided extra protein, between those baked oatmeals. Yet to be decided, yet to be determined how many of those. I mean, it's us, right? I'm thinking we'll at least do 4 9x13s. That sounds sensible. Got 4. 5. 6. 7. And so I just had some of my folks bring up milk, and I have heavy cream to do the whipped topping layers. And while they brought that up, I worked on getting the sugar already in a bowl. It takes 5 cups of sugar. I will have this big, gigantic batch of homemade from scratch banana pudding linked down below for you as well. And we did have several snow play breaks today. I think the longest they were out was about 40 minutes. That was actually this evening after several movies. Before it got real dark, starting to get a little twilight, I was like, probably be a good time to get one last good run out before you're in for the rest of the evening. And I ordered some truffle bowls just for this banana pudding. We are going to layer it with our vanilla wafers, homemade whipped topping, bananas, and all of those good things. And it'll need to set up. Really, it's 2 to 4 hours. I'll just consider ours setting up overnight tonight. And we should also get about 4 to 6 quarts. The way my math works out is we should get about 6 quarts additionally besides these 2 truffle bowls. And so we will just have 6 quarts of extra banana pudding. No one's going to complain about that. So some of our accommodating that's been happening in the kitchen with the storm, we have several pots sitting around full of water. Even the roaster oven is now full of water. Some extra slow cooker liners. So I added it up. We have about 28 gallons of water set up right now. And in addition to that, we also have our bathtub full. So that's just my emergency preparedness mind. But we did pour the water from this 30-quart stock pot into the roaster. Then I poured the last little bit into something else. So all that to say, it's the winter storm preparation juggle. Okay, so we've got sugar, cornstarch, salt. Just looking back at my recipe on the blog. 5 cups of granulated sugar. And there's nothing else in my pot right now. And our cricket is singing to us. 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then 2.5 cups of cornstarch. Let's see here. Probably pretty okay. So there's 1, 2, and I will send one of my people who look like me down. I'm pretty sure I've got some more cornstarch in the basement. And then sugar, cornstarch, so it's 2 teaspoons of salt, I think, yes. Just makes sense to do it all in this one pot. This came from when I was talking to them about, think of all the things you love that have bananas in it. What would you like mommy to make? And so the pudding itself is basically like a vanilla pudding, but the banana flavor comes through with the sliced bananas in the layer, and then everything's sitting together. Perfect, thank you. So I'm going to give our pudding in the works another stir, and then we're going to use the KitchenAid to get our homemade whipped topping made, which will be 4 cups of whipped topping, half a cup of powdered sugar, about 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and multitasking. Let that get going. And we also have about 24 bananas to slice for our layers, but we'll do that at the very end before we assemble it. And then again, I'm going to do the layers tonight in the different truffle containers and even our quart containers, and let it set up in the refrigerator overnight, but I'll show it to you again in the morning. Alrighty, so I'm going to let this go a few more minutes. Then we're going to add some of this hot pudding liquid to the egg yolks, whisk those up, and then whisk them in, and also whisk those in, let it cook a few more minutes. Then we'll add in the 4 tablespoons of vanilla butter. And see, Cricket's talking again. We will add the butter, and we will add in some of our homemade vanilla. So I was a little concerned that it wasn't thickening like how it should. So I did another half a cup of cornstarch and a cup of cold milk, whisked it in here, made it into a slurry. Now I'm just slowly stirring that in as well. That's my little extra adaptation. It is, of course, a mega batch, right? So lots of standing and stirring. is required. So things are thickening up here nicely. I've got about 6 minutes left of stirring. I have my watch timer set. I had one of my folks who looks like me bring me my water cup, and I have my hot tea here. Just took my vitamins. Did a lot with my left hand while my right hand was stirring, but we are getting through there, getting through it. I will say, I'm feeling tired now, you know. We are picking away, though, at these major, massive banana-infused big batch breakfast cooking projects during the snowstorm. We are doing it. Okay, so I'm just going to turn the heat off. Our Cricut is very enthusiastic. And so this is 4 tablespoons. Oh, hot. But I am okay. 1/4 of a cup of butter. Sorry, I was distracted by the Cricut. No, 4 tablespoons of butter, 1/4 of a cup of vanilla. That's what I was trying to say. Okay, nice. Heat is off, and now we'll stir it for about another 2 minutes. And it is thickening up nice, and it will continue to thicken more. Alrighty, so I've removed it at least from the burner it was cooking on. Because this is 4 gallons, it's going to take 20-30 minutes or so to cool down. We are going to build out our layers tonight. It'll thicken more overnight. I am going to do a small bowl in the refrigerator for about 15 minutes or so, just to eyeball it. But I think we're pretty good. But I'm going to keep coming back and stirring it about every 5 minutes or so as well. I want to get this, I almost said 8 gallons, 4 gallons of pudding conquered, and then I'll check in with myself and see how I feel. Maybe the baked oatmeal and the pancakes, maybe those are just going to start tomorrow, right? Because, I get a nap and I get feeling good, like, oh, okay, I'm going to stay up, I'm going to do these things. I know it's not a requirement. I don't have to. I don't have to stay up and do it. I can go to bed. We can just continue on with the list tomorrow. We'll see. These are the things I'm telling myself. It's good to have autonomy in life, and it's good to have options. Let's have a little bit of a therapy talk with Jamerrill, right? Autonomy and options and personal agency. These are some of my favorite things. And so I like to also tell myself, while I'm still stirring my 4 gallons of special requested homemade from scratch banana pudding from my people who look like me, I like to tell myself, you know what, Mega Mama, you also can go lay down, get your journals caught up, read a chapter or 2 in your book. Just do the pancakes and the baked oatmeal tomorrow. See, you're talking me into it right now. But I always appreciate you being here with me. I always appreciate you. You can just say, sure, Jamerrill, because we have sometimes. But you can also say, it's okay, Mega Mama. Just go lay down, drink your tea, have a nice time. We'll be right back at those pancakes in the morning. All right, I pulled out the banana pudding. We just got up. We are going to give this a go. Just ran to my drawer to get a bigger spoon. All right. Well, as we like to say around here, look at us, we're doing it. This is our final cooking adventure for our 64 plus, we will get the final numbers, massive breakfast freezer meals, and a whole lot of other things going on. Snow has stopped, driveway is cleared, supposed to be 15 below zero tonight, so that is also happening outside. Got my afternoon reduced stress tea. I like all the teas and all the forms. I also like the ones that are calming and gentle and all those fun things. So what we're gonna do now is a big batch of gluten-free, sugar-free, checks a whole lot of boxes, banana pancakes. I have old-fashioned oats that are certified gluten-free. If you can use quick oats, that's also an option. Working with the gluten-free oats, you let them soak for about 10 to 15 minutes. But I'm gonna also blend up our gluten-free oats just to give it more of a flour texture, so we're not necessarily feeling like we're eating oatmeal cakes, which are also delicious. So it comes out looking a little bit more like a pancake. I'm hoping to get a decent batch of these. I got the griddles out and oiled up on the stovetop as well. And I think we have enough of our massive, the whole lot of bananas, the 80 pounds of bananas that we've been working through these last several days. Oh, and as far as the pudding, let me show you that. They ate through one of the big things of pudding this morning. We had the 16-quart IKEA stock pot, about 3/4 of the way full, with just vanilla pudding and what was left of the wafers. They've been enjoying that as well. I told them they have to save the other one container, truffle bowl, that's what it was called, of the banana pudding for me to get my thumbnail picture of all this food that I've been working on, which helps tell the story of this whole adventure. Getting my oats opened, and we will use my mixer. Nope, my blender. There's extra happening in the kitchen right now from different pots full of water in case we lose power. And last night's dishes were done. Those need put away. Today's dishes are piled high. We will be rotating through and getting to those. Okay. This blender goes through a lot and the lid doesn't always stay on. But I was just telling one of my kids the other day, you know, we've had this blender like for 6 years now. That's really good. Good job, Vitamix. Alrighty, so it's 3 cups. And we will do 3 more. Okay, so I put my oats in here. Now I'm going to do my 18 eggs, and we're going to use six cups of mashed bananas. So that would be 12 ripe bananas if you were using your direct banana math. Six, 8, 10. Okay. 11. A lot of eggs. 12. 13, 14. That means we'll need 4 more. Of course, now my battery light's gonna start flashing at me. there for a minute, eggs. So I'm gonna get in my 6 cups of mashed bananas. We are almost to the end of the 80 pounds. 2, 3. And I'm going to use my hand mixer. Alrighty, so looking at my notes here. Now we got our oats, our sweetener, vanilla, salt, baking powder, and cinnamon. All right, so we're gonna add in our oats and then sweetener. And you can use honey, you can use maple syrup, you can use stevia, you can use organic cane sugar, whatever you like. I am using this baking blend. It looks like it's mostly oleose and some organic molasses, stevia leaf extract. I had a friend that was cleaning out their pantry and she was like, hey, by the way, do you want this? And I'm like, sure, I will gladly take it. So it's 3/4 of a cup, that's half. And that's a little eyeballing, that's good. I knew I would use it for projects coming up. Okay, my phone and my notes are sitting up against my vanilla. So we got 2 teaspoons of vanilla, half a tablespoon, that'll do. Our March 2023 vanilla is still hanging in there that we made homemade. A teaspoon of salt, which I believe my salt is over here because I got 2 Costco chickens on a bunch of carrots, as we do, going in the oven. And no surprise, no lies told, nothing, not shocking news. Green beans going in the slow cooker, which I'm going to put some chicken fat on here too. And 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Yay. I have just been doing so many projects, everything's kind of, as it gets cleaned, it gets laid over here. There's a teaspoon. And 2 teaspoons baking powder. And then teaspoon and a half of ground cinnamon. So, I hear everyone getting excited. We've been getting dressed in layers and getting out. They're finishing a movie now, and then I did tell them we'll have to get all the layers on and do one more big run. It's not, don't worry, it's not -15 right now. It's in the 20s. It's good for the blood flow. Good, 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 good. And we have all our layers. Good to take little snow breaks. Okay, that is it. After we get this mixed up, then I'm gonna let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes before we start the process. Again, my oven, the one oven is, I almost said in flames, is cooking the chicken right now. That has 47 minutes left. I want to do very similar ingredients, breakfast cookies. Super good and a great endurance fuel, great for me pre and post run to have available, plus other people like them. I want to at least get that batter mixed up. When we have the oven available, we can run those through. I have the roaster full of water also. So again, that's part of the pots and the different things. Like some are full of water, some are not. Okay, making some more adjustments, getting out some more ingredients. Okay, so I have a recipe over on largefamilietable.com. I'll link this original version down below, but it's not necessarily gluten-free, sugar-free, but it can be easily adapted. So I've taken that recipe. Of course, my original one was already big batch, but I've taken that, I've doubled it. I've also done things like we're swapping out the oatmeal for certified gluten-free oats. And instead of butter, I'm gonna use melted tallow. Hey, we have tallow. And I'm gonna also make them sugar-free. So I have 2 different bags now of these gluten-free oats here opened. One was opened from me eating for different breakfast, and then the other one was open from what we just used to make our pancake batter. So I'm gonna do 4 cups. I think this should finish out these. I have 1 more full bag if we need it. Just trying to use the little ingredients we can. I think it's funny, in all of my recent videos, I'm talking about the cricket in this kitchen, and someone who edits my videos for me currently just let me know, by the way, you keep talking about this cricket, and because you're wearing a mic, we can't hear the cricket in the video, so that's funny. So I will continue. Oh, I did have a cup in there as well. Cups everywhere. There's a cricket in here, so I was joking, oh, it'll be Jamerrill's invisible cricket. Okay, 3. And now I have to watch back through my footage because I got talking. I don't know if I had 2 cups, if this was my 3rd, or if this was my 4th. Yay. Okay, I had to go back and check my footage. Had 3 cups in there, added a 4th. And I'm also like a little rattled for a minute because I was just talking to y'all. We were talking about all kinds of things, me and my invisible cricket. And my camera wasn't turned on. So I'm like, what did I say and what didn't I say? I can't keep checking my footage. We got a food list we're trying to finish out. Anyway, another thing I was telling you, but you didn't hear me yet, is another thing in life that I have shared with you all that I'm doing as far as my gut health, and so many. We all have our list of things we have to learn about and advocate for and take care of ourselves on. Is I am also personally eating as close as I can to a low FODMAP food list over the next several months as I work on my gut health and all of those adventures. I know you've been so kind to listen to me as I walk out this next layer of healing. So I'm not a nutritionist or an expert. I just am the captain of my own ship and different things that I research and find out about. Anyway, that's a whole lot leading into these walnuts, right? I believe walnuts are one of those things that can be low FODMAP in small portions. So I am putting 2 cups of walnuts in these cookies, but they will be spread out over many, many cookies. And it's all based on individual needs and preferences and so many things. I'm also going to use about a cup or so of the Lily's chocolate chips, which some people, their bodies don't like some other ingredients in the Lily's in particular. Let me look here. Hold on one moment. Oh, the chicory root fiber, that affects some people's systems differently. So, as all things go, modify, choose your own adventures. You don't have to use walnuts. You do not have to use Lily's. And I am really excited about these, though, as far as fueling my runs. Now, I have those walnuts chopped, but I don't fold those in until the very end. I think I'll get the walnuts and the Lily's going. I do have another bag of Lily's opened. It's probably not a lot. And I also doubled this recipe so that we could use 4 cups of mashed bananas, which will equal 8 ripe bananas. Okay. That will be delightful. Some of my favorite flavor combinations. So now we've got, hold on here, 2 teaspoons of baking soda. And then we will do, woo, sorry mixer, you almost went flying. We will do 2 tablespoons of ground cinnamon. Does that have liquid in it? I think that's just water, and this is a ½ tablespoon. Oh, we had used it for our vanilla, I believe, not that long ago. 2. Okay, so that's 2 full tablespoons. Teaspoon of ground nutmeg. I don't know if I'm feeling like going over there to get ground nutmeg out of my cabinet. Come on, Jamerrill, you can do it. And a cup of ground flaxseed, which I have. And so with fueling my runs and my training for longer endurance events and adventures in 2026, I'm reading a lot from an author who's really done a lot of study and research on women athletes, especially perimenopausal, postmenopausal women athletes, Dr. Stacy Sims. I'm listening to her book called Roar right now, and then her book after that is Next Level. And so she has just been, I've been hearing a lot. I've been learning and sharing about healthy whole food carbs and such, and I'm learning even more from Dr. Stacy Sims and being a woman athlete as I age in those kind of adventures. So all that to say, I'm excited about doing healthy whole food carbs around my training. Let's see, salt, ground flax, very good. Okay, spoons. Again, I have so many things out. See, I got a spoon out still. So my plan, these cookies are around, this is guesstimates, around 12 to 14 carbs after you subtract the fiber, and minimal protein, not necessarily protein cookies, but I would pair them with a protein. So I've been trying to fuel, this is not race day fueling. This is like, I'm going to go out and run for an hour and then walk for 1 to 2 hours type fueling. So I would do based on various research, I would do 40 or so carbs and 20 to 30 grams of protein before. Then during, I would do so many carbs every 30 minutes. And then also after, I would have more healthy carbs and protein. And that's around the workout structure. So for the double batch of gluten-free, sugar-free, oatmeal, and banana breakfast cookies with all kinds of great things, we have 4 cups of gluten-free old-fashioned oats, 2 teaspoons baking soda, 6 teaspoons, which is 2 tablespoons ground cinnamon. I did not walk over and get a teaspoon of ground nutmeg, but you can do that. 1 teaspoon of salt and a cup of ground flax. Also, 4½ cups of mashed bananas, because in the original recipe you can also switch out a ½ cup of applesauce, but since we're using up bananas, I just went for that with extra banana. 4 large eggs, a cup of monk fruit or brown sugar substitute, which is what we used. Also, ½ cup of melted coconut oil or tallow or other fat that you would like to use. I'm using tallow, and I have someone going across my kitchen for me to melt that down. And then 4 teaspoons of vanilla, which is a tablespoon and a teaspoon. We're going to mix the wet ingredients together separately from the dry, then combine them. At the end, we'll add in a cup of Lily's baking chips and also 2 cups of our chopped walnuts. Then we're going to let the batter rest for about 10 to 15 minutes, which is great for me because I have 2 chickens in the oven I have to check in on. Then we'll start rotating the breakfast cookies through, and we'll get going making our stovetop gluten-free sugar-free, and all the bananas pancakes. Now with these breakfast cookies, we're going to do 350 for about 14 to 18 minutes. I will store some in the refrigerator over several days, and others we will put in the freezer, and they will be available coming up. Of course, these are available to all my household members, all my family members, but I'm really excited to have them as an additional fueling option for myself for my longer runs and events. So it has been a bit since I have used my griddles. I say a bit, I don't know. Did we use them in 2025? I used my first original griddle, even at the farmhouse, on my glass top stove, which you're not supposed to use cast iron on glass top stoves, but I didn't know that. And it all worked out pretty okay. And then once I was able to upgrade to this stove, I was like, I need more flat surfaces. Now, of course, there's some dried rice on here we can get off, but there is this flat top griddle that came with the stove. In the past, when we've done homemade English muffins and things on it, I just haven't always liked the way that it has heated. It has been okay, and hey, let's get it turned on and we will use it for some of these pancakes as well. I'm just using tallow also because we have it. And let's see, I need to turn that down though. I don't have my pancakes dipped out yet. But just want to get everything all a-going. And I could probably just as well do this with only one griddle, taking maybe a little longer. In some ways, I feel like I'm finding my footing again with big batch cooking. Quote, only only feeding 10, 3 times a day plus snacks. Only, right? But we do have times where we're feeding 15 to 30. Okay. I don't think I've done like any big batch pancakes though since winter 25. So I need to get comfortable with my sizes. I'm just going to turn all my heat down on low. And we are going to find our groove with these pancakes. Now, I was going to do several baked oatmeals for the freezer. I know I've done those in the past, and they work out great. I am almost out of gluten-free oats, though. So I might not be doing any gluten-free variations, but just traditional whole household. All the other people who would eat regular oats. I know someone the other day said, Jamerrill, oatmeal's gluten-free. Well, it's one of those things that it depends on where it's processed. You know, it should be gluten-free. However, it's one of those things that you can buy that can be cross-contaminated. And so you need to, just one more thing, doing gluten-free things, make sure that your oats are certified gluten-free. We may do an Azure order coming up. It's been a little bit, and I have reasons why I haven't consistently ordered through Azure. Basically, the pickup and the rescheduling that historically has happened a lot in my experiences. It's one more thing I have to juggle, and it has made me leery and weary of doing another order. But I thought coming up, we could do one. I do know my local Azure order is moving to another location also because it has grown so much. Close to me, but bigger parking lot. Not that has ever been an issue. And I've had some months, several months in a row, where ordering and pickup goes well. But then there's just times, no major fault of anyone's, there can be truck issues and traffic issues and things that happen that just cause some rescheduling. But for me, in my world, if I'm, let's say, scheduled to pick up Tuesday at 4, but then things don't line up for them to really be here until like 9:15 on Thursday, I've got a lot of stuff and things and appointments, and I know all people do. So Thinking about gluten-free oatmeal and bulk organic items makes me think I would like to do an Azure order. So maybe we will try, just see how it goes. And I might only be able to do like 1 a quarter. And that way, if there's some situations with the pickup and what have you, it's not 12 times a year, it's 4 times a year. So these look like very precious, sensible sized pancakes. I like it. So what's our count? What is our final count, friends, with our massive breakfast freezer meals? Well, with our muffins, we made about 30 dozen muffins. Oh, yes, we did. We did 5.5 dozen, just standard size muffins, peanut butter banana muffins. We did 6 dozen pumpkin banana muffins, and then 4 dozen pumpkin banana mini muffins, 1 9x9 of pumpkin banana muffin bread, and 6 mini loaves. Then, of our double chocolate banana muffins, we got 4 dozen standard muffins, 4 dozen mini muffins, and 6 mini loaves. We got 8 full loaves of banana bread, and several of those, I've lost count now in the vortex, were 9x13 pan sizes. And then we also got 2 dozen mini muffins of our traditional banana bread mix. We made 4 dozen gluten-free, sugar-free banana oatmeal pancakes. We also did 4 dozen gluten-free, sugar-free banana oatmeal breakfast cookies, and I'm super excited about that for my long-running days. We also made 4 gallons of homemade banana pudding. We layered 2 155-ounce each truffle bowls, and then we also, 3/4 of the way full, filled my 16-quart IKEA stock pot. Now, in the IKEA stock pot of just the additional pudding, which, let me tell you, it's already gone, I mixed in what was left of the vanilla wafer cookies. That was a big, big hit. So how many meals? Well, we have well over 300 individual muffins. 2 muffins, I would say, is a meal. Throw some fruit with it, right? 3 to 4 mini muffins, that could be 1 meal for an elementary school kid, plus add in a banana or a hard-boiled egg. So I would say a safe muffin total is our muffins alone could be considered 40 to 45 meals with additional side items added as needed. We have 8 loaves of bread, which is about 8 servings each, so that's 64 servings. Our 48 pancakes could easily be 12 to 16 meals. And our 4 dozen breakfast cookies, 2 cookies per meal. Again, I'm going to have 2 of those delicious breakfast cookies with some additional protein added, which could for me look like 2 hard-boiled eggs, but that's for my specific nutritional needs. But I would call the breakfast cookies about 24 meals. And then, do you count homemade from scratch banana pudding as a meal? Well, I know a whole lot of people who look like me sure did for breakfast this morning. Let's just easily say 5 to 8 to 10 to 12 meals from 4 gallons of homemade pudding. So I would say, safe numbers, we've got about 75 to 85 breakfast meals. Many of these are going to the freezer. Some of these have already been consumed. Of course, things like the pudding, already gone. No, that was not made as an intent as a freezer meal. We'll just call that big family meal prep, right? We know it's a wild amount of food, and I feed 10 people all day, every day. And when I am in seasons of life that I cannot consistently get in, we'll see. I mean, maybe 2026 is my year. But when I can get in consistent seasons where I'm always, I got the pump primed and I'm refilling a freezer and we're eating items out of another freezer, we have a lot of variety, we have a lot of options. And then guess what? There's a crisis, something implodes. These things have happened in our universe several times. Just in January 2021, I was hospitalized with my kidney multiple times that year and had a kidney surgery. And we ate out of the freezers for many, many weeks. Also, fall 2023, we ate out of the freezers for a good 12 weeks straight. And even these days, several years later, there can be a week or two solid we're eating out of the freezers. How I like to do it in a perfect world is I might have 3 to 4 times a week that I cook fresh that week. And then we work in our freezer meals, our breakfast, lunches, dinners, snacks options from the freezer as needed as well. And when I cook around here, I'm cooking 2 chickens at a time. I'm doing my slow cooker side items. We've been doing a lot of slow cookers this winter, which is super helpful to do a bunch of massive whole food meal prep on the fly too. Don't forget to head to largefamilytable.com for many of these recipes. I'll have them directly linked in the description below. And if you're interested in my big batch freezer meal cooking guides, those are all located at shop.largefamilytable.com. You can always use the coupon code HELLO20 to get 20% off your first order. I appreciate you. Thanks for doing a bunch of big cooking from scratch with me. Let me know what big cooking you want me to do next, and I'll see you real soon with another brand new video. Bye-bye.